Hello, friends. Topic: calcification of mine and your body, and how that is affecting our brains, our hearts, our kidneys, our livers, our organs, our skin. Okay, going back many years ago, through reading online. Actually, I was at a vitamin cottage. I was at a supplement health store, and one of the gals there was talking to someone else, and she was saying that magnesium, she put it in lay term, magnesium clings to calcium and it gets it out of the body. And that was the first time I heard that. This was probably back in 2012, 2010, maybe even before that, 2008. I don't even remember. But I went online and I looked it up myself, and yes, there's this chelating effect, or a binding effect, where magnesium attaches to calcium. To keep it simple, even for myself, I'll leave it at that. So I messed around with this myself. I got some magnesium oxide. I got some magnesium citrate. And the oxide did pretty good. And the citrate does well too. And there is online right now, I ordered some Swanson triple magnesium, a blend, capsules that I'll open up and pour into my mouth because I don't swallow pills anymore. And what does it do for me? A lot, a whole lot. It does quite a bit. Let me talk to you about a cycle I go through. I do things over and over again. That's how my functioning goes. That's my personality, whatever, my brain. So I repeat things over and over again. And that is the same way with my food. So I'll eat the same things over and over and over again. And I'm constantly very aware of what I'm eating. So every little thing that's inside of the food, I'm thinking about too, even before I've even eaten it. So I'm always thinking, okay, well, this is how I'm doing here with my body, and this is this, and I'm completely scattered-brained right now. I've been eating a lot of dairy-type foods, cheese, and then I stopped. And I cleared out my system, which I'm going to talk about. And then I started back up eating them again. And I didn't eat as much, and I'm keeping it down, consciously thinking that, okay, well, I would usually have 3 slices of cheese. I'll only have 1. Or I'll only have this, or only have that. I mean, I'm not even getting pizzas anymore. Cook yourself pizzas. I haven't been eating those. I haven't been eating, I don't eat any kind of dairies usually. I mean, it's been a long time. Yogurts, sour creams, any of that kind of stuff. So it's basically just cheese. And lately, I've been going toward this specific cheese. It's a boar's head cheese, and it's the American cheese. And so this is a milk cheese. This isn't really a hard cheese, you know what American cheese, it's a soft milk with a lot of milk fat and milk put into the actual cheese. Or however they make it, whatever. So I take it out because I'm not doing too good again, cognitive wise. My thinking, I'm scattered. Something is happening, and then it'll take me 2 or 3 attempts with the thinking of rationally realizing why it is that is happening. No, it's not this. No, it's not this. No, it's not that. Oh, it's that. And that is my cognitive ability. That's me going towards alcohol, me going towards sleeping all day, or use a lot of sleep, completely out of it. And maybe you can identify this yourself. So when I take out the calcium, when this is an issue, I mean, because I'll also point out my breathing is weird, my blood circulation is not great, I have a thing in my right side where it feels there's pressure. I've been to the doctors numerous times, and they all say something different. And they do not care. They don't want me there. They say, yeah, okay, whatever, get out. The one guy even said it was my prostate and that he needed to check it. And I don't know about you, that's not really where the prostate is. If it is my prostate, then that's not really the area of where the prostate is. Okay, so I take it out. And it's not the same as if you were to take out something else that you've been consuming. The issue, and this is something that you'll look up yourself if you care to dig, that there's this calcification of the body. And I'm saying that this is an actual real issue for all humans, not just mood swing people or people that have cognitive issues with their brains. And I'm going to point out schizophrenia or we're talking psychosis, we're talking bipolar, we're talking BPD, we're talking any of these. I'm saying that this has something to do with at least the cognitive ability of your brain. And if you look up calcification of the body, and you put things into if you write them down, okay, and there's all the issues that the humans can have. And what humans do is they eat a lot of dairy. If you go to the grocery store, which you will, walk down the line and look at every single food that doesn't have calcium in it from some kind of dairy or calcium added to it. So such as a breakfast cereal might say, well, that doesn't have any dairy in it, and I'm going to use almond milk and this and this and that. We'll look on the back and you'll notice that they add calcium propionate, calcium chloride, calcium blah blah blah, calcium this, calcium that. They add it to it. And then you might ask yourselves, well, why is a lot of foods a bright white color these days? Why is it that they used to be a regular color and now they're a bright white? Why is marinara's a bright red, white red? Why is everything fucking white? Why is cheese so abundant in all of these foods? Well, that's a discussion for another vid, or a discussion to have with yourself. Right now, right here, I'm talking about the difference with myself when I'm not taking these things in and when I am taking these things. So I'm having some issues, and I take it out, and it takes a while for my body to come around. And I'm talking about completely avoiding calcium altogether. And you might say, oh, well, that's not good for you. You've got to remember that your bones are loaded with calcium. And if you're taking in milk and you're taking in whey, that has something to do with your growth hormone in your body. Your IGF levels are going to go up, and your bone density is going to get bigger. So you might look at a human being who's a vegan, who is really skinny and has skinny bones, and you look at someone that's a big milk drinker. They're big bones. Their skulls are bigger. I know it's weird to say that. It's just their skulls are bigger. Their wrists are big. Their bodies are big. They usually are puffy looking. And then you'll know this yourself if you're puffy and your bones are big. That first of all, it's genetic. That your bones have that capacity to get that big. Because you could also be a dairy drinker and your bones are not very big. You just don't have the capacity for your bones to get bigger. You dig it? So if you're having hip problems or you're having back problems, consider this. Because it's not me making things up. It does activate growth hormone in your body. And your bone density is going to get bigger. So you're going to have a lot of issues where your joints come together. The hips, the back, where it meets cartilage and presses it, and there's compression and so forth. To my brain. Take the calcium out. What can I do to decalcify the body? One, take the magnesium. When I take the magnesium, it makes me very tired. It does. And it also will make you have to go to the bathroom. So I suggest taking it before bed and then having really nothing to do the next day, because you might have to go to the bathroom. These days, I have to take a lot of it. So if you take a 400 milligram supplement or whatever, you take 2 of them or whatever, and then it's very probable that you'll need to go to the bathroom. One of those I gotta go right now situations. So then there's this flushing, and you'll recognize it. My body feels more clear. My issue that I have down here in my side goes down, and I was feeling a lot of pressure, and then it started to come down. My whole body is coming down, and as I'm leaving out this calcium, there's still a little bit of calcium that I'm getting in my meals. Yesterday I had some kind of wrap thing, and it had some lettuce type stuff in it and all that. That has calcium in it, and the wrap has calcium in it, and there's still calcium. There was some beans in there. There's calcium in the beans. So if you are thinking to yourself, oh, I still have to have the calcium, you're getting calcium. So I'm wanting my calcium to come down in my body. This is what I want. And I'm saying, this is me, that this is a major reason for most health issues, which are dependent on genetics, yes, because it's going to be more or less for everyone in how this will affect your body. And I'm saying that it absolutely does affect my body. I know the difference between when I've taken it out and when I have it higher up, how I feel. And things that are going on up here are not because of calcium. Calcium is not making my brain this or that. If I'm having calcification of my body and my ion channels in my brain are not doing so well, then something is not going well with my intake of it. So what good is this information for you? That's up to you, really. If you're having some cognitive issues, if you're having depression, mood swings, whatever, consider this. And of course, it's at your own discretion how you'll do it. It's up to you. And who you'll talk to about it. And your reasoning through your approach to what you're going to do for your own self is up to you. And I really do think that it's probably 100% best to stay away from dairy completely for myself. cheese completely, 100%. And that includes almond milk and coconut milk and all that, because that has added calcium and added vitamin D, which is going to up your absorption of calcium. That's another thing, is eggs, egg yolks. These have vitamin D in them. And it's one thing to have some vitamin D, well, it's another thing to have too much calcium absorption. This issue that I'm bringing up, this is what I'm saying, is this is going to amplify, this is going to make it, it's going to make it worse. So I'm going to take the magnesium, and then I take the magnesium out because I have to, because I'm too sluggish if I keep taking it, because it's only something good to take here and there to clear out the body. So when I am going to take it, I'm going to take quite a bit so I can get this stuff out of my body. I really would rather not have to go through this and do any of this stuff as a human that has the will to not take in the cheese. And the thing about cheese is it has the casomorphine naturally inside of it. There's opiates, natural opiates inside of milk, cow milk, and somewhat in other milks, if you can look that up. I know it's in the cow milk. I know that there's morphines, natural opiates inside of wheat, spinach, and a little less in some other foods. I think chocolate, cocoa. So, there's all these different things that you can know and utilize. And then there's this constant people having their videos where they say, I don't know, this is happening, I don't know. Well, if they're saying they don't know, then on the flip side of that, they may be recognizing that there is a reason. It's not magical, it's not mystical why it's happening. There's actual cause and effect of what is hindering you, or why are you having a hip problem and you're 29, or why is your knees going out and you're 25, 23. Why is it that you go to the store and there's so many ingredients inside the food? Why is that? It's such a greedy capitalistic system. They're adding food. When have you not had to pay for something that's more? When have you not had to fucking pay for something that's more? And there's more in there, more of this being put into these foods, and they're altered calciums, altered potassiums, altered sodiums, all these things that had to do with your complete functioning, the osmosis of your cells, the very many cells that are in your body. And then there's little things that they put at the bottom. I'd say it's for this reason. They'll have 50 different ingredients, and then on one specific ingredient it'll say, for this reason, for anti-caking, for this, that. Well, they're not putting any of the reasons for any of the other ones, only for one, sometimes. What's going on? Well, so it's been about maybe 4 or 5 days since I've had any cheese, I'll just put it at that, or consciously went for some kind of high calcium type food, which I have not. And mostly that's going to be dairy. Still, if you're taking a bunch of orange juice, or juicing a bunch of oranges, or you're taking a bunch of broccoli or whatever, or juicing, then you can still get too much calcium. You can still get too much calcium. So, and what's inside the meat, inside the cells of the meat that you are eating, there's going to be calcium there as well. You're going to be taking in calcium. You're going to be taking in the hormones and whatever it is that was put inside of that. Not to go off from calcium, there still will be calcium inside of the meats. And you have the calcium and the magnesium and the phosphorus stored in your bones, which are an organ, and your parathyroid in your neck is going to be overloaded by taking in massive quantities of milk, or calcium, excuse me. And if you're taking in stimulants, as I do for this, then that depletes your magnesium. So you're going to have a sugar too, an imbalance of these electrolytes that your body is needing to keep your cells functioning properly. So that way you don't have this calcification, this buildup. And I'll have to look into it more, the actual substance of the blockage in a heart failure or whatever. It's the blocking of the arteries. I'll have to look up exactly what that is. If you've ever looked at that, that is white. And the reasoning for that's information that you can look online, is that it's inflammation. That's okay. Well, still, what is that substance? There's going to be some kind of cholesterols in there, and there's going to be some form that's white. You got to realize also too, when you're a younger person, you're more resilient, and a lot of these issues are going to start coming on when you're getting around 30, 35, 40, and then mortality rates start to drop off, heart attacks, and things that could a lot of the times have to do with exactly what I'm talking about. Are you going to have things coming out telling you these things? No. No. No, they are not. Why? Well, there wouldn't be any rich people if there was. There wouldn't be people with a whole lot and people with a very little if there was. So dig on that. So anyways, that's what I'm going to keep doing. I've talked about this a couple of times. You can check out some of my prior videos. I possibly touch a little bit on stuff that has to do with it. Osmosis, electrolytes in the brain. And another thing too, real quick, is I looked up the molecular weight, the density of each of these electrolytes that are the main electrolytes that are going on inside the brain. And magnesium was bigger, heavier than calcium, and calcium was much bigger than a potassium electrolyte or sodium. So you want to talk about something that can really clog or block cellular functioning, then you got to look at something that, facts of the actual molecular size of the calcium molecule, of the magnesium molecule, and again, having certain specifics with your brain, depending on your brain that you were born with. Someone else might say, well, who cares, dude? I don't have any issues with that. That's you. So, and if you're watching this, you probably have mood swings if you're watching this. So this more than likely is going to be very specific to you as well, as it is to myself. So anyways, good night. Love and peace. Take care. Until next time. Adios.